Super Soul Sisters, I'm glad we're back again for another amazing episode. You'll forgive me, I have a bit of a cold, but hey, we must move. And my name is Rowena Kajumba. Our Super Soul Sister today, as you can see, I'm holding something quite amazing. Our Super Soul Sister today who's going to be joining us is the CEO of Melanitis. That's why I held this photo, I couldn't pronounce it. And that is Nakazzi, right? Edinah. And of course, she said she started out by doing DIYs and, you know, trying things out for herself, for her hair, skincare, things like that. And then she figured, this is taking a little bit of time. But you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for making time. I know we've planned our calendar like forever.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm glad you had time when we reached you. So, real quick, of course, the usual, we're going to be talking about ourselves. And when we're talking about Nakazzi Edinah, I know I probably not pronounced that correctly, but you can also correct me on that. Who are we talking about? Like, tell us as a child where you've come from, you know, because we're seeing the you now, yes,
Yeah, sure.
the entrepreneur, but like, who is Edinah?
Edna, that's an interesting question.
Yes.
Well, I've grown up like most people, honestly.
I'm surprised.
I don't think I have a very, very unique story. I have both my parents.
Yeah.
I've been 80% of my life in boarding school, funny part.
Okay, so you're only child or you have siblings?
Oh, I do have siblings. I'm the first girl, second born. So we have one boy.
Before you?
Yeah, the rest are girls.
Okay.
We're like 6 girls. Then
Wow,
we
it's
have one
overrun.
last born. Yes.
Oh, so 2 boys?
Yes.
And 4 girls?
Yes.
That must have been interesting.
Very.
So being the second born as a girl, what was that like?
Well, honestly speaking, I keep feeling like I'm the beginning of most things. Since
Okay.
80% of the house is girls.
Yeah.
So the boy has his own sort of caliber and things, and then they start trying out a lot of things because there are so many other girls in the house.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
So he was the boy, you come, you're a girl. Did you ever feel like you're missing out on certain things? You want to join in on what your brother is doing?
No.
I've seen a lot of kids trying to do what their bigger brothers or sisters do.
No, my brother has always been a good example. I keep thinking like he held the bar high, so I had to hold it high, and my sisters just kept doing the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah. However, I think this entrepreneurship thing, my dad owns a store
Okay.
of shoes, so we all literally work there from like P7 back. So every holiday you come and work and work and work. And consciously or subconsciously, I believe we've learned a lot of things about business. Things we did not learn in school, theoretically, we did not learn anywhere.
You've learned through being at your dad's
Yes,
shop.
through being at my dad's shop.
That must have been interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So, did you have time to like, because you say that was P7, let's go back a bit. What kind of child were you? Because at this point, I'm sure your sisters came in at a later stage.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and at some point it was just you and your brother. What was it like growing up?
With my brother. Honestly, it was short-lived. So the sister who is after me is 3 years after me.
Oh, okay.
So you can imagine, by the time she came in, I was just starting to maybe like walk or something. Yeah, so for a long time we were just 3, me, my brother, and my sister. The rest of my siblings came a bit later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What was that like? How was your childhood like?
I was a middle kid. I was really quiet. I would say I was a really
You can
quiet
tell.
person. Yeah.
You can tell.
I was really quiet, just a simple normal kid and just quiet. Because I was a middle kid anyway. My sister was the last born, so she had a lot of attention. My brother was the first born, so I guess I kind of bonded with my dad. I don't know. Yeah, but I was fine. I don't think.
And what did you like to do, like by yourself? Because at this point, you're trying to figure yourself out. Everyone else has.
Actually, very, very early on, I figured that I had something to do with art. I remember a very interesting memory in my P3. The first time we were asked to draw the map of Uganda.
Okay.
And you can imagine P3, it's like literally the first time you've seen it.
So, I've always been horrible, even now. You tell me to draw the map, it would be the worst map ever.
So I drew the map while looking at the board without looking into my book.
Oh, wow.
And I drew it like all around.
Okay.
And okay, I don't think it was as perfect as I remember it, but I think it was the most perfect in the class.
In the class, yeah.
So the teacher exclaimed and I was like, oh my God, you're really good at drawing. And that thing really stuck with me.
Okay.
I've always been into art.
Art, yes.
Yeah.
So what school did you go to? Let's start with you.
For my nursery, it was a small school. It was called Rio Primary School. Then for my primary, I continued I changed the school in P4. I went to Namembe Parents.
You were in Rio and continued to P3?
P4, yeah.
To P4 rather?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Namembe Parents.
Okay.
I was from P4 to P7. Then I went to Gayaza High School.
Okay.
So
in your P7, you're like, I have to go to Gayaza.
Yeah, okay, kinda. I was actually, this is even embarrassing to say, but I was actually confusing that if there was a Gayaza Girls and a Gayaza High, I thought there were two different schools.
Yes.
Yeah, so I put Gayaza Girls first choice and I put Gayaza High second choice.
Oh, you wanted the same thing.
I know, it was the same thing I realized after.
You wanted the same thing, and you got the points to take you.
Yeah, I did.
That was nice.
God willingly, yeah,
that was nice. So when you go to Gayaza now, because, P7, you're working, you mentioned earlier on, you'd go and work in your father's shop.
Yeah.
You had a goal, you knew you were artistic. So what was it like now? Because your primary school was day. Was it a day school?
No, I was in boarding from P4 actually. I stopped being in day in P3.
When you went to Namembe, you were in boarding?
Yeah, boarding the whole time. So P4, P5, P6, P7.
Nothing changed really.
Yeah,
when
really.
You went to senior one.
Yeah, it was all
but Gayaza is Gayaza, you know?
I know. Gayaza is Gayaza.
Yes.
I would
what was
say.
that like for you, getting to your dream school? And
it was exciting. I met so many friends that I have right now that have really held me in.
You've kept them?
Yeah. I have some people I'll never forget. Like even just the experiences and the memories with them were just amazing. For those 4 years, personally, I have like a personal sort of motto. It says, to whom more is given, more is expected. Yeah, so
nice.
Personally...
Can you repeat that again for the people watching?
Yeah, to whom more is given, even more is expected.
Yeah. That is quite true.
So if you have been given an opportunity to have the best education, we expect you to really shoot like for the stars, because now you have the ability to. Not this.
So you work by that. That if I get the opportunity,
I'm going to do my best.
I'm expected to do.
Yes, my best.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Gaza, I was there for 4 years. I was not able to go back for S5 and S6, but for the 4 years that I was there, I believe I picked everything I could pick within that time.
Which year was that? I'm sorry, I want our viewers to know that regardless of your age, when you accomplish things, you've accomplished, you know?
S1 was 2013.
2013, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So, at that age, you get into Gayaza. Okay, you're saying it's also boarding school, it was the same. Was the primary school single or mixed?
It was mixed. My primary school was mixed.
But now you're in a single
school. Yeah.
And you have to adapt to that, or it was quite easy for you?
Honestly, we used to joke in primary that if we went to a single-sex school, it was okay to, work without anything because you're all girls.
After all,
yeah, something like that. But the experience was extremely different. I feel like I got a chance to be mentored by so many ladies. We used to have old girls coming to school and talking to us. And we had a numerous amount of talks, which I hated by then. But now I really, really appreciate.
It's like, oh, yeah, thank God.
Yeah, thank God I had those talks. Because some people tell you things and you don't need them for then. But after a while, you just remember and you're like, oh, this was good for me, okay, this person said this, and you use it here and there in your life. But in that moment where you had it, it was not really of use, I would say.
I can imagine. What were you leaned into at that point? Okay, what were you doing? We know you're artistic, but were you in co-curricular activities? Were you in art class, not arts?
Oh, yeah.
And also, what were you leaned into? Really?
Well, I personally was doing basketball.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing basketball for the 4 years. I remember I had watched some movie in my bag called Like Mike. So the one with the shoes, the basketball shoes.
Yeah.
So when I reached Gaza, when you enter the gate, when you look just to your right, you can see the court, the basketball court. So when I entered, I was like, I have to play. Like, it was,
And you'd never played, or?
I had never played. Like, for my P7 I had never. This was the first time I was actually getting on a court.
I'm going to do this.
Yeah. I didn't get to be the captain, but I got a chance to be the captain in my S5.
Nice.
In another school. So
okay, so 4 years you're doing basketball, you actually training, you're part of a team. You've never been?
Yeah, I've never been. I've never been. It was
What kind of determination is that?
It was
like
good.
If I've never done something. Oh, but were you like a sporty girl in primary school though?
I wouldn't say that. Okay, in primary in primary school, you are kind of a jack of all trades.
Yeah, that's true. You're trying to figure things out.
You're trying to figure things out. When they say do this, you do it. When they say do that, you do that. So there's not really a specificality to what you can do and you can't. But when I got a chance to join basketball, it was a warm place. Like, those guys were really welcoming and family, and it was all nice. Yeah, I remember my coach was called Mr. Bato. I don't know if he's watching this. Mr. Bato.
Oh, okay.
Mr.
He was your coach,
yeah? He was our coach.
That must have been interesting to start off with someone you had senior one. Weren't you bullied for not knowing anything?
No, but okay, it's a collective form of learning. So S1s, when you all join, you sort of have a training as S1s, so you all don't know. Then the senior team is in S4, so they train you guys like that. Yeah, and guys has a very good, welcoming, structure.
Say, I've not heard much about bullying in Guyana. So.
Yeah, it has a very welcoming structure. Yeah. When you enter the school in S1, you're sort of given someone to take care of you, and the person is in S2. So they remember pretty clearly how S1 was for them. Okay. So they take you through. And even them, when they were in S1, they had someone who took care of them. Oh. So you have, so you have someone in S3, you have someone in S4, like the person who took care of the person who is taking care of you. Oh, yes. It's sort of like that. So you sort of have a family already the moment you enter the school.
Yes. So you were doing basketball. What else were you doing?
I was also in the art class.
You're in the art class, obviously. You said you realized you're an artist in P3.
In P3 and pretty much in P7, we had an art club that was literally made by us. Like, our P7 was the first time they had an art class. I mean, an art club in the school. So we were the oldest
pioneers,
and were the pioneers as well. So we used to do a lot of art things for the school, like during Easter, we would do cards for those nursery kids to shade and things like that. So it's quite exciting. And I remember he was called Teacher Cuthbert. He told me, if you do not do art in S4, I will come for you. And it stuck with me. Going to S1, going to S2, S3, S4, it was still art.
Any leadership positions you had?
Well, it was not that normal kind of leadership. I was a leader in the church, a chapel.
It's still leadership, my dear.
Yeah,
still leadership.
It's still leadership. I was a leader in the chapel. Yeah, I was a Bible study leader. Okay. Yeah, so that was my S3 to S4.
S3 to S4.
Yeah.
And these are things you did and didn't interrupt you or interfere with your education. Or did it ever
occur to me that, honestly speaking, I feel like the structure of how they teach in Gaza is very round and it's very whole. They don't teach you to have this one-sided thing that you're supposed to either be a book reader or not a book reader. You could be in sports and be in the chapel and be in class and do all those things at the same time.
I'm assuming you're the type of child or students that was very disciplined, very quiet, never got in trouble, or did you ever get in any kind of trouble?
I did get in trouble one time, and this also resonates with me because it was a major thing in my life, actually. So this one time, I was supposed to put on the sportswear kit, and I wasn't putting it on. And that time, there were punishments that were happening, but not like usual punishment. Like they literally cut off your hair.
Ooh, that must have been painful for you.
Yes, it's very painful.
Seeing that you love hair.
Yeah, and I had just held my puff, I think 2 weeks to 1 week before that incident.
Ooh, you're like, I finally have a puff.
Yes, all excited and everything. And I had my hair cut. It was very, very painful.
I can imagine.
I couldn't believe it. Of course, my hair doesn't have like a very slow growth rate or something like that. But still, I felt so bad. So bad. It was such a bad feeling. But it kind of, I don't know, triggered something in me. When I reached my S5, I changed the school. I went to Makerere College. And they don't allow hair there, obviously. So I literally had to cut my hair again. And that was what, the third puff I was cutting off. Like that.
So you cut your 2 puffs at school as punishment? Twice?
No, I cut once, and then I had to cut in S4. So that was the second time. Of course, also in primary, I had kept for VAC, but then I had treated it. So I had to cut for S1 because Gaza doesn't allow treated hair.
So you've always loved to have your hair?
Yes, I've always loved my hair. I've always loved my hair.
I see where we're heading now. So, but a real quick reminder, we're here at Dotash Exclusive. They definitely give us their amazing, amazing space. I think you see how beautiful the space is.
Very beautiful, honestly.
And they get to give us their space to use and have amazing women like Edna to come here and talk to us. And she's our super soul sister, as a quick reminder. And of course, we'll be right back. And Edna has been talking about, I think you see, this coming through. You see the same things coming through. That's why we like to know the stories of our soul sisters. We'll be right back. And we're back. Dotash Exclusive here at Ginger Road, the former WBS house. I'm pretty sure you see it on your way. He's just along the way. And I'm still here with Edna, who is the CEO of Melanitis. I just figured it out. Melanitis Sisters. When I read this, I'm like, oh, melanin, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is for us girls. This is definitely products for us.
Yeah.
So you said you've always loved to have your hair, but you're still a disciplined girl. People confuse these two things.
Yeah.
I think growing up in my day, if you loved hair, you were not serious.
Well, yeah, that sounds
if you
very
loved
familiar.
hair at school, you are not being serious. Okay.
Yeah.
But from what we gather from this conversation, clearly that's not the case.
It's not the case.
It's just a love for something. And that's why you see, the thing though is, traditionally most of our schools, I feel like hair is going to distract.
Yeah, true.
It does distract though, because I need to take care of my hair. Exactly.
Yeah.
What subjects were you leaned into? Okay, I know there's art, of course.
Of course,
yes.
art, of course. Art had to be somewhere, obviously. I loved art, but I was also into physics, chemistry, and biology. I was more of a science person.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
History and all of that. By God's grace, we finished S4, honestly speaking.
But you were more of a scientist.
Yeah,
like,
I was more
I want the sciences.
Math, physics, and chem. And art was sort of my go-to resting place.
Ah, okay.
Because these subjects were good and I loved them, but they do come with a little bit of stress.
Yeah.
So whenever I would punch up my day with physics, my timetable and everything, then in the evening I could do something like draw or art or something. Yeah.
Did that influence what you decided to talk on in your A-level?
Yes, of course. In my A-level, I took math, economics, and art.
Ah, okay. Math, econ,
and art.
Art. All things that you love and things that are definitely going to be helpful.
Yes,
In the
economics
end.
was because
You
I
need
was
to know
working.
yes, you need to know your numbers,
my
right?
strength, yeah.
You need to know your numbers. Okay, so you went to Makerere College, you mentioned.
Yes.
Which year was this?
2017, I believe.
2017.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you go to Makerere College, everything, lifestyle, everything is changing.
It's different, true.
Different. It's, wait, is it a day school?
It has both day
Both
and
day
boarding.
and boarding.
Yeah, but I was not in this campus. There's a campus here in town. I was in the campus in Mulawa. It's the A-level campus.
Wow.
So it only has S5 and S6.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it was quite
I
interesting.
didn't know there was that other campus, by the
Yeah,
way.
it's new actually. I think we were the second lot. The pioneers than us. We were the second people to
The second lot. Okay.
attend that.
So you went and did your math, your econ, your art. Interesting. What was that like?
Honestly,
It's a new school,
was,
different.
It's a mixed school as
Yeah.
well. It was so different, extremely different what I was used to. And when I was in S4, my best bet was to go back to girls, and when that didn't happen, it was a very scary and new place for me. I was wondering,
To try and figure out where to go.
what should I do? How am I going to navigate this? But still, like I said, I continued with my basketball.
Yes.
I became captain.
Oh, wait, at Makerere College?
Yes, I became captain in S5 and S6.
Nice.
So it was a very, very interesting dynamic.
I'm still trying to figure out how. A character like this, from what I'm picking, from what I'm seeing, from how very calm and relaxed you are, to basketball.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of extreme, but I think, I don't know. But I think
that's where you let your energy out.
I do have a lot of energy in my hands, I believe. I'm an energetic person.
Okay.
So leaving alone the art, because art doesn't take a lot of energy. I think I needed something.
More of your calmer side.
Yeah,
Yes.
I needed something to let out that real, like sweating and exercise and all of that. And basketball used to do it for me. Yeah. And to even make it better in my S5 and S6, when I became captain within that time of the houses, competitions and all of that. So it was a very good place for me to be in, to bond with like a lot of
friends,
people. Yes, from a leadership point of view. Because I was a leader and then I had people to train and all of that.
What other roles did you have?
At Nakazzi?
Yes.
I was also a mama. I was an evangelism mama. Can you imagine that too? Being a captain and then an evangelist, it's quite opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was, I think God has always been like a special part of me.
Now, all these years, you're still, when you go back home, you help your dad?
Yes, every single holiday.
Wow.
You go back and be in the business, you go back. If something needs you, you go and do it and you come back. Even now, I'm just from there.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
So many people, they're like, you know what, I have my own business now, so yeah.
I don't
we're all
need
busy
to,
people. I don't need to, to keep dropping
no.
by and helping and checking in. So your relationship with your parents, you know?
Well, my dad, I don't know. I never actually had this question with my dad, but he's a very calm person. My dad is extremely calm, and he's not the kind of person who can get in conflict with. Of course, you're not planning on getting in conflict with your dad, but he's extremely, extremely calm. I was not very stubborn, so I don't think I had like a lot of those episodes of teenager.
I'm like, okay, do you like have any memories where like, oh my God, did I do that?
Maybe the really, really tense moments I've had with my mom when I was entering campus, just entering in my A6 vacation. I didn't want to go to campus. I refused to go to MOOC, and I had also refused to go to Chambogo.
Oh, wow.
I said I would go to Art Field. It was an institute of art.
Okay. And for a parent, that's like,
why are you saying no to university? I told them there are strikes, there are all of those things that I don't want to get involved. I know what I want to do art, so I'm going to do that.
Okay.
It took a lot of convincing.
And here you are, you did sciences. They're like, but what's wrong with this girl?
Yeah, exactly. I was bright also.
Yeah.
So they were like, she has the capability of doing something else. Why is she
Yeah.
doing something like
We
art?
want, like, you know, parents have always thought, there's certain jobs that are
Doctor,
the jobs.
accountant,
Yeah.
and all of that.
And there's the other jobs that are like, what are people going to say?
Yeah, true. Something my mom said, she told me, because the art sort of DNA, I would say, runs in my mom's family and in my dad's family.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my dad, not him specifically, but his brothers have the arty thing. But all of them, S6, they drop it.
Okay.
Same thing with my mom said.
So you were inspired?
Not
You're
really
like,
inspired, but
maybe if I go and also, you know, try out and do my own thing.
no, when I continued with the art thing, I figured I was not sure exactly what I want to do, but I knew it was in art.
It was in art.
Yes. So when I took art in my S5 and S6, I would seriously wanted to continue with it because of all the subjects that I was doing, math, econ, and art. Art was that thing that really held my interest. And when I did a little research about industrial art, it was very theoretical, and I was like, no, I don't do it. I want to do hands-on art.
Wait, they did let you go and do
the art field? Of course not. No.
It was a real battle.
Yeah, it was a real battle. So she managed to convince me that after I finished my degree, then I could go and do what? And do that
and do your art. Yes.
Yes.
So you went to Makerere?
No, Chambogo.
Chambogo. So you go to Chambogo and you do
computer graphics.
Computer graphics.
Yes.
Around the same thing.
Yes.
So I see what you
also,
did there.
Yeah.
You're like, you know what? Let's all win here. Let's do
True.
a 50-50. Let mom be happy. Let me also be happy.
Yes. So I go to Chambogo. I do computer graphics, design. Nice. Yeah, just finished actually.
Nice.
Must have been yesterday.
You're kidding.
I'm just kidding. Just waiting for graduation. Yeah.
That is nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes. So you're in the right space, if I'm being honest with you. So when does this happen? Because if we're looking, you enter university 2017?
2019, actually.
Ah, and then COVID happened.
COVID, yes. I literally
How
spent
did you
5
deal?
years.
Thank you. I'm glad I found someone who was in school while
during that time.
And you're just starting out.
Yeah,
it was for you.
Yeah, it was not a very pretty experience, I would say. But COVID for me had positives because this was born in COVID.
2019, huh? Nice.
Yeah.
So while everyone was shocked, put in a shockwave of sorts, we all entered our houses and locked ourselves out in. You said, you know what? Let me
do something.
Do something. And something you've always done, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Now this, before, remember we had the first COVID, then we had the second COVID.
Yeah, there was many COVID.
No, like 2 COVIDs. So the first COVID, honest, it was a very slow one. We literally did nothing the whole time, just spending time with family, online, movies, blah, 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 all of that.
Yeah, we thought we were dying. We were going to die, like the end of the world.
I personally thought it was judgment.
I personally can't forget that moment.
So I had tried out a bunch of things in my VAC, and I had settled.
Please tell me some of these things.
Okay, so this one is very crazy. I got shoes from my dad's store, and I tried to paint them. To get to get painted
like DIY
sneakers.
On the shoes.
Exactly. I did a lot of research. I went and bought materials and all of these things, and I kept. Do you know Air Forces, the white ones?
Yeah. And
I started drawing colors on them to like make a customized Air Force.
Yeah.
Well, the idea was good. It's just that it never turned out the way I expected it to.
We always try things. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
But I tried that for a very, very long time. Then I tried a cards company. I did cards for some good time. Then I was trying.
What kind of cards were you
birthday cards.
Okay.
I did some little bookmarks, like corner bookmarks.
Nice.
I was doing a bunch of stuff, honestly, because it's art and being artsy all the time. The moment I entered campus, I was so excited. I'm going to do this practically. Now, campus introduced softwares to me, because before I was doing things with my phone, taking pictures and maybe the practical things and watching videos. But when I reached campus, that's when I got to know the softwares, Photoshop, Illustrator, like those basics.
Yeah.
So I got a hold of the basics.
Okay.
So immediately I started designing posters, flyers, what those
For
things.
your friends in school?
Yes, for my friends, then for my dad's business. Then
Okay.
I was doing a lot of things in that space.
Or like the e-flyers and
Yeah,
things like that.
e-posters, those things. I kept doing that, but I was on a really, really, really low scale.
So now, you're not going to school. You're not doing online study. How are you keeping up with your colleagues?
Honestly, it's like everyone shut down during that time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, for a very, I think a good 3 weeks.
Especially the first wave.
Yes, the first wave was, everyone was so scared. People couldn't even move out. So when the second COVID came for me, I was like, I had too much time on my hands the other time, and I didn't use it. Yes, I need to find something. So the fact that I was designing a lot of things for very many other people, I was like, oh, how about design something for myself? Like, can't I just start something and begin designing for it? Even if it's not real, because in art class you make up a lot of things that are not real.
Yes.
So when I talked to, I had some 3 friends. Now me, I was into hair, of course, and then the other one was into nails, and then the other one was, she was into makeup and things like that. So I thought, why don't you do like a sister thing, like make something? I don't know, I could design posters, I can do the flyers, I'm very good at that. So that's how the whole idea began cooking up.
Ah, I see the sisters now where it's coming from.
Yeah. So we were 3 people who just had an idea. But originally, like the day that I said, let's start. I opened up an email, opened up a YouTube, like just put email,
Everything,
YouTube, Instagram,
yeah,
and just left it blank. I was like, okay, we started.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I did that day.
It's like, okay, we have an empty room, but we shall use it.
Yes, we shall use it.
That's nice.
So I remember those first weeks I began taking some online classes, how to do cornrows, because I loved hair, but I used not to do my hair myself. Yes. But right now,
I just feel like it takes a lot of time.
if you learn it, 5
and
minutes.
I think most women will admit or agree, like with us, melanin blessed sisters.
Yeah.
No offense on that one, guys. Don't get me wrong. So most of us, and I'm being honest, that's why so many of us have rushed to
treating the hair,
treating, or what we call
plating.
retouch, or because our hair, for some reason, we feel because our texture. I don't even know what my texture is. Some people have told me it's for. Oh, okay. Like for me, I have struggled, like I said, with things like psoriasis, and my hair has to look good,
presentable,
or I just throw on a wig and walk. Because I do not want to go through the hassle and the hassle and the hassle. So that's quite important to look at things like this.
Yeah.
Because products like this have not really been out there.
Around. True. Now, okay, the thing is, personally, I think I used to plait hair. Actually, for the whole of my first year, I would plait hair. But my hair, as you can see, is very thick.
Yeah.
And it grows out very fast.
Wow.
So I would spend 80,000 for a hairstyle of 3 weeks.
Wow.
Maximum.
And it will last 3 weeks?
Only 3 weeks. Actually, by the second week, it's
My hair
growing
doesn't
out.
last a week. It's like
It's just growing out. No, I'm talking about braids, like braiding hair,
braids,
and like that thing that takes you 2 hours, 3 hours. Yes. And I've spent a ton
my goodness,
of
you're
money.
lucky. 2 weeks, mine, at most 1.5.
Yeah, now for you even worse. It was also, I think, one of the reasons. Right?
Yeah, that drove you
to just find something, find a solution. Because honestly speaking, within that time, I spent more money because I was campus. Now, before I would plait in holidays, and holidays were 3 weeks or 2 weeks, so it wasn't really like a thing.
And you're thinking, this money would do something
Yeah,
else.
I'm like, this is too much money. This is realistically a lot of money. And of course, my parents weren't complaining or anything, but I personally felt that.
I know someone in my family who would suggest, just cut it off. Just cut your hair.
Yeah, my dad did that a number of times.
Just cut
He suggested that I cut my hair
Yeah.
a lot of times. But I loved my hair and I knew that there was a solution for it. I believe that very many people, since they are young, like since you were a little kid and you had your natural hair, your hair was always in braids. It was
in braids and
or
I think
cornrows.
My mom used to love to leave it in an afro. Like we'd all walk around with, when you're tiny little things with huge afros just walking around like. Good memories though. But because, and this is the challenge today. Someone will say, our parents had time. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
You know, no, they didn't.
Yeah,
But
they just had, it's a mindset. I believe it's a mindset. Because very many people, okay, now for you, you had a special case, like your parents would maybe later use your hair out sometimes. So you had this love, this longing love to see it after some time. But most people, they unplay it in the salon and they play it in the salon. So their hair is not out for 2 hours or 3 hours. Like just, they unplay it, they wash, they play it.
So many people are busy. They just send you to the salon and figure things out.
And that's what they do. So I believe the training that you have is of braids. It is not of your hair. Because 80% of the time you're with your braids. You see, there are some people who know that, okay, if the braid itches, you put this oil, if this... You've learned all that out of the time that you've spent with your what? With your braids. I believe if you practically did it and took time to learn your hair. Because for me, to come up with... Now, I can take like 8 months to 9 months, 10 months without plaiting anything.
Really? I want to do that.
That's personally, that's me right now.
I want to do that. But like, you just grew up with a love of hair, or like maybe you used to see your mom or someone inspired you? Because personally, I used to see my mom rock her hair. Like, hey. And some of the styles that I used to copy because I used to see how it was. So, but like,
what pushed me? I guess I just really, really love my hair. My dad's family has very good hair texture, let me say. And my mom's family, it's what they call munyedede.
Yes,
we are 4B here. So, and the 4C is kaweke. So for us, we are 4B. So our hair is soft, it's nice, it's curly. So I think that alone pushed me to love my hair. And I believe we are hybrid because none of my parents have this exact hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My dad has the good texture and then my mom has like the lengthy what. Yeah, so we are a combination of the two. Actually, my whole siblings, their hair is
like yours. Okay.
Even in primary, a lot of kids will be, "Oh, you guys have casts? Are you sure?" What? So
nice. So when you engage your friends, your sisters, your friends, what was their
response?
Yes.
The response was honestly positive, and we all had plans to do our different things. It was supposed to be a merged thing and all of that, but things happened. Yeah, I was literally the only one that acted upon the agreement we had. Because anyway, I was around with the logins and everything. I started doing YouTube videos.
Okay, so you were doing these products yourself?
Yeah, but before I even produced a product, first we were doing videos on YouTube just about hair.
Oh, okay.
Me talking about
first
hair.
of all, yeah.
So I was talking about people's hair, face shapes, and how the shapes can define your position of the hair shape you want to have. Like if your face is oval, you should have this hairstyle. If your hair, so I was doing a lot of a bunch of research.
People don't even know these things.
Exactly.
Like, I just want this hairstyle, please. Can I have it?
Can I do it? And then you do it, then it looks funny. Then you're like, what happened?
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
But I did a lot of research around that, around hairstyles, around different things you could do, because I believe I had a shortage in mind of what hairstyle I could, because I was holding a puff and an afro. That was basically it. So I was like, there must be something else I can do with my hair. So I began doing a lot of research with hairstyles and all of that until I think for my 5th or 6th video, because before I didn't even have a camera, by the way.
Oh, wow.
I would just use my phone and hide myself in a blanket and begin speaking the research that I made. And I got a bunch of stock videos and stock photography and played the voiceover in the background.
Okay.
So that was for the first 3 to 4 videos.
Oh, wow.
Then when I shared the YouTube with a bunch of my friends, they were like, "Oh my God, this is so nice, this is so nice, this is so nice. But we want to see your face."
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Like, who's talking to us?
Yeah, you know? Exactly. Like, we really want to see your face. So I did something. I got my mom's phone. And then I think she had the best phone in the house, so I just stole it for a while. And did a bunch of recordings, said what I wanted to say, and then just cut it. Anyway, remember I had the software knowledge.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah,
So you would edit your stuff, work them out, make them look...
It was not good, honestly. If you look back right now...
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
Well, we all start from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a start. And one thing that I have is just do progress. That's something that I always... I'm not a perfectionist. Like, I don't wait for things to be perfect to start.
Okay.
I just go.
So how do we get here?
Okay, so how do we get there? So in the first COVID, when it was coming towards the end, my mom made a friend.
Okay.
A friend was called Aunt Lynette. So Aunt Lynette was doing natural hair products.
Okay.
Now, for a long time before, when I was doing my research, I was seeing Kantu and all of these things, and they were not in Uganda. So I was like, oh my God, there's like, you can't find these products in Uganda. If no one is producing it, then maybe we don't have the actual ingredients to make the products. So it was an out of reach sort of thought for me. But my mom made her as a friend.
Yeah.
So she was doing her natural hair products at home. So we met her when she was at home doing them. So one day we visit. My mom knew I loved hair, so she's like, oh, Edna, you love this lady. I met her at church. We should go and visit her. I spoke to her. I was like, you do this product? So she's like, yes. I did a course in chematology. Like, she told me all the things. Like, it seemed a little complicated, but I was like, so someone in Uganda makes them, so this is achievable. You get? So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's try and see. So I first made my first product. My first product was an oil. Because I believe oils, like, it's a one product, one sort of thing. Like, you don't have to add anything inside. I made a bunch of research. Do you have to put preservatives? Like, all of those things. And I was like, you know what? Let me just produce one oil. And I see. Nice. So that oil was our first product.
Let me see the oil.
This one here.
Ah.
It was our first product.
Okay.
Yeah. So I produced, like, I remember I produced 6 bottles and I didn't have labels. So I designed labels. It wasn't the best design, obviously.
Until we got here.
Yeah. It wasn't the best design. I did a bunch of stock pictures and put them. You know how the normal normal labels look like with people's faces and things?
Yeah.
That was like the first label. It didn't look very good, honestly. But I started because apart from that inspiration of my mom's friend, someone on the YouTube channel asked me, how can we support you?
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah. It was they
actually asked, how can
we support you? Because I was doing videos about natural hair. They were like, Edna, I really like what you're doing. It's very nice. But how can we support you? So my mind began racing. Now the business side of me came about. I was like, do I make shirts? Do I make what? Do I make what? I was like, I can actually make products. So I produced the first oil.
The castor oil?
Yes.
So how easy was it though?
Not easy. It's a whole lot of... I know I'm saying because it right now that I produced the first oil.
The right ingredients.
Yes.
You need to...
first of all, I had to find a supplier because of course I wasn't going to make the oil myself. So I first went through a bunch of resellers. Let me say, this one resells to this one, and then this one resells to that one. And then you just keep the prices increasing. Now the entrepreneurship side of me is kicking in. I have to get the first producer. You get through all of these guys.
Yes.
So that was a fast process. Then looking for the bottles. I didn't want anything, no more, or I just didn't want anything.
You wanted something to match melanin.
Yes, and I wanted something classic because I'm a classic person.
I can see that.
Yeah, so I wanted something I could personally buy because I believe I was my target audience in that time. So I did go through a bunch of packaging pages on Instagram. I talked to a lot of people. I visited a lot of places with packagings, and I would find some, this is normal, this is normal, this is normal, until I was able to find something that that matched what I wanted. The labels were the hard part because I'm a designer and it was a very picky process for me. I wanted something unique, but something that spoke here and
represented you as well.
So the labels are the ones that took me a bit of time. Yeah, so I started Melanitis just like that.
So castor oil first.
It was the first and only product for about, what,
And
4
easy to
months.
get ingredients for all of your things?
Honestly, the
Things
castor
you
oil,
do at
it
home?
is pure. It's just a one
You
ingredient
don't
product.
add anything in there. Okay. So I'm looking at this, and this is the protein shampoo.
Yeah, the protein shampoo.
And what goes in here?
Now, the protein shampoo is literally the last product we produced. It's almost,
Oh, really? It's the newest?
it's
Interesting.
almost recent. The protein shampoo, I wanted to make, you know, sometimes when you wash your hair and when it dries, it gets that crunchy
Brittle
feeling.
kind of,
yeah.
yes.
It's like you've stripped your hair of a lot of things. So the protein shampoo has avocado oils, like a really high amount of avocado oils that are supposed to, you're supposed to cleanse your hair, but at the same time give it its softness, and it's sort of doing both, like conditioning and the washing at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why we call it a protein.
Okay. So people need to know what their hair can do.
Yeah.
Because personally, at some point I wanted my hair to be hardened because my hair is a little too soft. But you know what? I don't mind it being soft. I don't want it to be.
You know, it had,
to be
trust
hard.
me, you don't
My
want
only
that hair.
concern is that most cases we shall be told that these are natural products, and then you find a whole lot of chemicals in there. And for someone like me who has very sensitive skin,
Sure.
I am not going to be doing justice to myself. So sometimes when we say natural products, there are many out there. Some of them, many of us know them. They're big products. But you realize the person who wants the natural product is not catered for. You know, without
The
all
real-
of these, what are they called?
Yeah, parabens and sulfates and
Yes, like I need, and from what I read here, okay, sometimes we can be confused. The other day I found out certain words like sodium would be used and someone says, oh my God, chemicals. But when it's meaning something totally different.
Okay, when we are speaking about natural products, and then there are naturally made products. So when someone says that my products are natural, it means whatever has been put into that product is either animal or plant.
Okay.
You get. So what happens is, it's very technical, but in the mixing world, in the chemical world, you don't, if I say that I'm putting avocado in my product, I'm not going to pick the avocado and put it there. There's a way that they get the nutrients that be in an avocado and put them in a specific, maybe like what's that thing called, pellets, like very small
Bits of,
so they make like the nutrients of an avocado and they put them in that. So when you put that in your chemicals or in your mixture, you're not putting something that's not natural because it's directly from a plant or it's directly from an animal. So that's why sometimes people will be like, oh, what? It's not natural because it has something that cannot be pronounced, or you get.
Yeah, because people need to know what they're
True.
buying. Most
But
cases we get lost.
personally, if I am advising someone like with extremely sensitive skin like you, I would say the safest route is to do DIYs.
DIYs.
Yeah, because of course DIYs, you're not expecting to keep the mixture for more than a day or two, really. So you can afford to do it today, do your mixture, put it in your hair, until maybe your skin regains something.
So what do you say out there to people? Because most of us are running away or avoiding, okay, it's now a trend, people are doing natural hair, but along the way they're like, you know what, I'm done.
The first thing I would say is make some research. Honestly speaking, the gap between you being a pro and not being a pro at natural hair is simply research. So if it's really something that you want to be in, just do basic research. Because there are more than enough styles out there that you can do for one day-to-day basis. There are 5 minutes hairstyles that you can do. There are 2 minutes. There's 1 minute. There is the lazy natural. There are so many things
Yeah, like
out
I could
there.
just wash my hair and walk.
Yeah, it's also possible. And then the second thing, I think people should learn to appreciate their natural hair. Personally, okay, I may not be the best person to say this because I really have good hair, but I have seen people who have had specific textures of hair and they've just learned what their hair needs. You get, just like one's body, some people need more proteins than
Some
others,
people,
some people
yeah.
need more carbohydrates than others. The same thing with hair. The moment you learn your hair long enough, the moment you apply something and then you see how your hair reacts, and then you do this and then you see how your hair reacts. With time, you will know that for my hair to look this way, I have to put this and this and this. For my hair to look this way, I have to put this and this and this.
How costly was this for you, like in terms of production cost?
The advantage that I had is I was doing this at campus. So somehow I have my parents' money chipping in here and there all the time.
Yes.
Of course, I did out of starving, honestly speaking, because
You're sacrificing.
yeah, there's a lot of time I just picked the whole bunch and just put it into the business. But because I loved what I was doing, and I think for me it's about the fulfillment that someone gets when they finally get a product that works for them.
Yeah.
So that time we were doing castor oil and just the conditioners, someone would use them once and they'll be like, wow, my
This is good.
hair
My
thing
hair
has
is
been,
different.
like just changes people's lives. And for me, that alone kept me going. Like someone would be like, oh my God, Edna, thank you so much. I used to have such a hard time and now, and I'm like, oh, okay, this works.
That must be very
very fulfilling.
Yeah. Do you feel like we're going somewhere? You're headed somewhere?
Yes, of course.
This is working. People love it.
Of course, we are heading somewhere. Honestly, my model of business, it's not to maybe open up a store and a salon or something. I want to first get into the teaching space. Yeah, so we are going into schools. We are talking to schools.
I saw some photos of you. You went back to school, eh?
Yeah, I had to go back to
Go back
Gaza
to
to
your
show those
school.
people because, honestly speaking, for a very long time, like even now I can say that I have good texture hair, but then I hated my hair because it was too thick to plait. It used to become heated when you plait, like because it's thick, it sweats easily, and then it itches, and like I used to have the worst experiences with hair, and my hair was untamable because if the way it grows like this, you get, so it doesn't do like people's hair that slips back. It's sort of an afro and just falling out. So I was looking for a really practical way of
and much more affordable.
yes, and much more affordable for people to do their hair.
So, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, and I must say congratulations. These look beautiful. I think I might try a few or all. And things you want to say out there, soul sisters out there, and of course our young men who are out there who are thinking, you know, guys, we all need to work hard. Leave alone these things of working women. Also women, leave alone these things of the man will do this for me. I think we're reaching a point in life where we're going back to, you know, the world sort of resets itself. If you go back in the past and do your history, the men and the women both brought something, brought food to the table.
I would say figure out your passion as soon as possible. I feel like that's a fuel. You can't stop. If you love something, you're obviously going to be pushed to do something about it, whether you want or not. But the issue is we spend time doing so many things we don't love that we never take time to indulge ourselves in the things that we love. So find out what you love as soon as possible. And then put whatever skills you have. Because now me, I have art. Another one could have sports. Another person could have, I don't know, cooking. Another person could have. There are so many really hands-on skills that you have. If you figure out what you love, you can just put the skills in there and you'll find something that's uniquely yours.
For me, this is success. You can have so many falls. You may not get millions or billions immediately, but taking something and turning into something. And our young soul sister, Edna, has clearly proved that to you. She's waiting for graduation day. She's just finished school, but she has a product line for hair. Probably, as she's saying, she's also teaching how to deal with your hair. Maybe in future you'll have your salon that focuses on your products.
Yeah.
We do wish you that.
Thank you.
But thank you so much for watching us here on Super Soul Sisters. My name is Rowena Kajumba. Do forgive me, it's just I'm down with something. But I hope I was quite audible, and I hope Edna was audible as well. Till next time, we wish you a good night.